Hello everyone, I'm Clayton.
And I'm Darren.
And once again, it's another Gone Kayaking trip. And already I'm not happy because you started off by taking the mick.
So today's mission is Avon Beach, Old Harry Rocks, lunch on the beach, and back again. And show Clayton video so he's jealous.
So, well, thanks very much for that. Yes, I am jealous, and having seen the video already, it's a fantastic trip. What a great day. Couldn't have picked a better day for it.
Yeah, we picked a good day. It wasn't an accident. We were looking for a calm day, so we didn't have loads of wind in our face as we went along the coast towards Old Harry. And we wanted some fairly calm conditions while we're there, so we're aiming for a low slack tide when we actually got to the rocks.
Now, for somebody who's thinking, right, do you know what, I quite fancy doing this trip, what are the certain considerations that they'll need to take in before even getting in the kayak?
Well, the low slack tide was, I guess, specific from our point of view because we were coming from this direction, so we wanted the tide helping us all the way there. We wanted the low wind, we didn't want wind against tide all the way there, and that also then meant we had a very, very light wind with the tide for the return trip. So, because there's a bit of a tide race off the rocks, you don't really want too much turbulence or excitement when you actually get there.
And in terms of distance from the beach, how far did you sort of stay from the beach, well, the beach is, all the way along?
We were probably within a quarter of a mile all the way down there. On the way back, I guess our furthest point was maybe 2 miles or so off the coast.
Couple of bridges you go under, I say bridges, piers that you go under, Boscombe and then Bournemouth. And in terms of mileage or kilometres by the time you got to those?
It was about 9.5 miles, I believe, to the Shelley Bay or Studland. So these were probably 3-4 miles in for the first one and maybe 5 or so for the second one.
And with the wind helping along, quite an easy paddle, although yet again you're not even halfway there and you decide it's time to take the mick out of me.
It seems sensible. Of course, Clayton's want to stop by now and catch up with blisters.
Now, for those of you who haven't seen the previous videos, perhaps a good time to go and have a look at them. Yes, I may well have had to stop and sort out blisters. I do have office hands, I can't help it.
We were sympathetic though, that's the main thing. Emphasis on the pathetic.
Oh dear. Again, just looking, I mean, that picture, what a great shot that is. Seagull coming in, that could be somewhere off the coast of America on the west coast. What a great shot.
Indeed, yeah, it's really quite a smashing bit of coast to follow along.
A little bit of chop as you got to certain places. What was causing that?
We were going with the outgoing tide along the south coast. As we get to the entrance to Poole Harbour, you've got the water coming out of Poole Harbour as well, so the two have a little conflict and you end up with this chop that you can see here. Captain Chris obviously got his wobble-tastic boat with him today, and he ended up having to demonstrate some bracing strokes for us.
Which should happen just about now. He does well though. He would have lost that lovely beanie hat, whatever it's called, on his head. A flower pot hat, isn't it? I think
it is. It was a bill rather than the Ben version.
and they're not very graceful getting out of the boat either.
Yeah, the main thing is we had the camera running, which was good. Otherwise, we would have missed that too.
For someone who's captained tankers, he does have a problem. It's something so small.
Size matters, though.
A little stop on the beach for a banana and cheese sandwich, one of Darren's delights.
Clearly jealous again.
And whereabouts was this?
This is Shelley Bay, so it's the northern end of Studland really. It's got another little name as it goes around the corner into the bay, into Poole Harbour.
Don't worry, those of you that noticed Darren's finger just go missing momentarily on that clip, that's because of the 360 camera being used. What a fantastic piece of kit it is.
Yeah, it's a great toy. Always got to have toys.
Yeah, plenty of those. But also, those toys very important. One in terms of filming, but also the other toys that you've taken with you for safety reasons. What were those?
I had a VHF with me, We were going to be offshore. That was all part of the plan. So it's nice to be able to tell someone if you've got a big issue, like a wobble-tastic boat that doesn't float well.
Now, this isn't you suddenly getting a head of steam up from your banana and cheese sandwiches. You took your time to go and have a look at this, having not seen it before, and just sped the footage up. But what a really good shot! So I say that, it's just look quite funny. I feel like a little toy thing going along, but really good shot of old Harry, and as it pans around.
Exactly, it's quite spectacular in the bit of coast there.
And even with it sped up, you can see just how well you planned this for that slack tide. Hardly any movement, hardly any wobble on the boat. You get a really good view, and just know that you're really safe because you hadn't been here before and weren't too sure what to expect.
Indeed, we left a massive margin by the looks of things. I mean, these conditions were so calm, it was a bit ridiculous really, but we had a huge margin for safety there.
And a little opportunity to get the drone out, another toy that you've purchased. Not quite the skilled drone pilot just yet, but even so, some great shots.
Yeah, unfortunately some salvageable shots, but it does turn out I'm a pretty useless pilot.
Yeah. Well, you only get better with practice, and that's the main thing. But a good opportunity to see old Harry. Now, there's a little bit of a story to this. It's part of a set, isn't it?
My understanding, at least, not being a geologist and all, but it's connected under the sea to the Needle, so it's all part of the same band of chalk that goes along the south coast.
And we have had that little trip already. We've been to the Needles a few times, and your trip around the Isle of Wight, which is on a previous video, which you haven't seen, check it out. But it's quite spectacular, isn't it? The opportunity to do this is worth doing if you can.
Definitely. And you'll see the Needles coming up actually on one of our next videos, putting together as we speak.
Yeah, some interesting little elements to that as well that you have to be very careful of. They look kind of placid, just out there off the coast of the Isle of Wight, but there's a lot to take into account, which we will talk to you about in that next video. Old Harry done, and now the trip home.
Yep, so this is cutting straight back across the bay now, so rather than following the coast, which was interesting once, but doesn't mean you want to do it every day. So we now go straight back across the bay. You can see the conditions were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the conditions, as you mentioned, they are just perfect, and you couldn't have asked for a better time. Now, in order for Captain Chris to get over his ballast issues, I do believe a little bit of a MacGyver episode happened.
You'll see.
Captain Chris has adjusted his ballast. We've got 300 kilos of rock just to see how it changes the boat. From all accounts, it actually works. What are the chances?
And on the plus side as well, of course, if he's just picked up all that chalk, he's not going to be short for writing on the blackboard for a while, is he?
No, this is true. It's also worth mentioning it wasn't actually 200 kilos. I exaggerated a touch.
Now then, on the way back, cutting across the bay, you came across this ship, and I understand there's a little bit of a history to it.
Well, it's apparently a military-run ship or a government-run ship that does commercial contracts when it's off duty, something along those lines.
Ooh. Well, I hope we're not going to get in trouble for mentioning it.
No, it's top secret. Don't tell anyone else.
It doesn't look very government-run, does it? It doesn't look, looks like completely run down.
Yeah, scope for a lick of paint.
Having cut across the bay, almost home, and then this happens.
Yeah, some local wombat. He was buzzing us. He was actually only about 20 feet away from us at full speed, which doesn't look so much on the camera.
But scope for peril if he got something wrong.
It's not helpful. There's not much margin for his error, and we don't really know what his intentions are when he's coming straight at us.
So besides that little end... Oh, hello, nearly went in. Good job. Good skills.
Jealous.
And these are the rocks. I can't believe he's done that. But it worked, though.
Indeed, it did work. He was happy with it. You'll see in our next video. We've got a more permanent fix.
Fantastic. This then is what the trip looked like. As you said, hugging the coastline on the way round. Had a look at old Harry, straight back across and home. All in, how long? How far?
It was around 6 hours for the return trip, including the stops. And it was just over 40 k's.
So very nice day out, another one ticked off the bucket list, and another video done from Gone Kayaking. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to press like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. There will be plenty more videos to come. For now though, from us, it's time to say goodbye. We wish you all the best on the water and safe paddling.